1 minute with us. So let's wait for a few more customers. Okay, now we'll start. Uh, First of all, thank you again who are there on board. This is Prashant from UL Group. So with respect to any concern of audio or video, please raise your hand so that we can try to address then and there. Uh, Please cross check with your network, reliable network, before entering to the webinar. If everything is okay from your end, if any of the audio or video is interrupting you, please raise your hand. I'll clarify then and there. Thank you so much again. And I would like Shripad sir to give some introduction words about this webinar and UL Group.
Thank you, Prashant. Am I audible? Can
Yes,
you
sir.
confirm, am I audible? Yeah, okay, thank you. First of all, I want to thank all the participants that we have here. Myself, Shripad Joshi from UL Electro Devices. Let me tell you a story to set the tone of this webinar and our expectations from it as well. So many of you might be aware about Kirloskar, an indigenous manufacturing business house, which recently wanted to implement Industry 4.0 in one of its plants. So they got IBM Watson to provide the Industry 4.0 software expertise. So both the ends were ready, but the biggest challenge that they were facing was how to make Industry 3.0 hardware and Industry 4.0 intelligence to talk to each other. And Kirloskar, having UL as their long-time supplier, remembered about us, and we were solution provider in industrial communication domain. So they got UL in, and UL integrated the existing communication protocols from Kirloskar's mass manufacturing robots to the IBM Watson software. So in a nutshell, that's what UL is all about, making things simpler for the customer. With its strengths in industrial automation as system integrator, in industrial communication as any media, any protocol from one organization, and in industrial Ethernet and networking solutions from the world leading networking partner like O-Ring Taiwan, UL believes that we are the most entitled organization to play the key role of Industry 4.0 integrator, or let us say IIoT enabler in the Indian market for specific industry orientation. Now, having said about what kind of value UL brings to this particular domain, today I've got my colleagues to talk about one such essential building block of Industry 4.0. The product or the platform that we are going to talk about is an open platform and is known as RevPi and described as universal industrial IoT hardware. So I welcome you all again and hand over the baton here to Prashant again initially, and then Pradeep, who is my other colleague, to take you through the core content of the webinar today. So thank you. Thanks for being here, and look forward to your engagement throughout the webinar. Over to you, Prashant.
Thank you so much, Shripad sir. So this is a very unique device which we are taking up in this webinar. The total agenda is to have a basic idea of Revolution Pi, which will work as an open source and how it works, and the configuration tool with its own Pictory software, along with programming sources, as well as we talk about the security of industry and its expansion modules, and how you can utilize this device for your authentic block diagrams and to monitor your end machines with which open security of your own industry. So having said that, I would like to introduce Mr. Pradeep from UL Group, who will be having and handling a technical team from Pune. He'll be continuing this webinar. Yeah, as I said, if you have any concern or queries, please raise your hand so that we try to sort it out then and there. Thank you. Over to you, Pradeep.
Yes, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, all. Welcome to today's webinar session. Prashant, sir, first let me know, am I audible clearly, all of you?
Yes, Pradeep, you are audible and we can view.
Okay, perfect.
Proceed with. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Sripath sir and Prashant sir, for the introduction and setting this platform me to take this discussion ahead. So myself, Pradeep Jadhav, working as an IoT application developer at Evel, would like to welcome you all the participants. Today, I will introduce all of you to our most popular universal IoT hardware called Revolution Pi, or as we like to call it in short, RevoPi. So, all of you able to see my screen now? So the today's content of the discussion will be goes like this. We will talk about the infinite possibilities with Revolution Pi. Then the basic ideas of Revolution Pi, which is a open source based hardware. Then we will see how does it work. Then it has inbuilt Pictory tool for hardware configuration. We will see on later slides as this session goes on. Then we will see what are the programming sources available to program this controller or IoT gateway. As then its security part, being this IoT gateway is going to be connected with internet. Then what are the features available related to security? Next, we will see what are the base modules and expansion modules we have with the RevoPi. Then we will see one of the variant among Revolution Pi, that is RevoPi Connect. Then we will see a general block diagram, and later we will proceed with the hands-on training. So that will be on last slide, how setup has developed. Now let's talk about the Revolution Pi infinite possibilities. In this slide, we will see what are the possibilities with the RevoPi hardware. But before that, I would like to know what all the before that, I would like to know from the participants what all are the components you are using for your IoT projects right now. So you can send me your answers in comment sections, and meantime, I will share my experience on this slide. Now, can you see my slide, the Revolution Pi with infinite possibilities? Prashant sir, can you confirm once? Can you see on my slide,
Yes.
Revolution Pi with infinite possibilities?
Yes, Pradeep. We can view, and many of our participant is responding quickly, so you can have a look in the chat section.
Okay, perfect, sir. Then Revolution Pi, it's a smart control unit and it can be used as a PLC. It can be an IPC for your industrial projects. It can be used as a HMI as well, human machine interface. It is a web browser based, and it is a machine retrofit unit. You can use in your legacy machines to upgrade your existing plant or machines with the help of Revolution Pi. And it is a, as I said, it is a universal IoT hardware, so it is used in a predictive maintenance solution, as any AWS green edge computing application, or otherwise with the cloud solutions like AWS, Azure, or IBM. And it can be used as a software platform as well, and it is an step 7 coupler as well. It means you can communicate with your Siemens step 7 controllers with a Revolution Pi. So after seeing this, we can say this is a revolutionary product which has endless possibilities which we can perform to upgrade the existing industry 3.0 to the industry 4.0. Next, I will tell you what is the basic idea behind the behind this product. That was the Revolution Pi, Raspberry Pi. Bringing the Raspberry Pi into the industry was the basic idea behind this. As you can see in a X-ray image of Revolution Pi core, that is a that is logo of Revolution Pi is carved. You can see here, and then the Raspberry Pi, we have made that Raspberry Pi for to use in an industrial environment. So it is industrial EN 61131 certified, so that we can use in an industrial environment. It is a open source hardware and can be programmed using the open source technologies, and it is a community based. There is a lot of people are working on development of this product. There is a big community behind it, and it is a complete modular automation system. You can add your add-on modules like analog and digital IOs and other gateways as well in order to communicate with different communication protocols. And it is a platform for services. You can use it for as a platform for a service, and it is a best fit for your industrial IoT applications. So on next slide, we will talk about why open source. As we know, open source is an innovator in many applications. Open source has many great applications. As you see, Linux, and if you come into operating system, Linux and Android OS are doing much better. And a lot of other open source technology in terms, if I talk about in terms of programming, there are a lot of applications which are very good for development which is free of cost. That's why it has a price advantage for the end customer. No expensive dependency to one solution provider, being it's open source. It's a strong, fast, effective technical community behind this idea. It's a big marketing tool. As this product is a community based and open source, you will network with many other people or developer who are working on this product, and you can build the similar products with sharing ideas and your projects on community forums. Community ideas for product management, as what I said earlier, and open interfaces for easy adoption. If I talk about the success stories of open source, we already know about this best open source technologies, which is a Linux, Firefox in the web browser domain, then OpenOffice, then Node-RED, MySQL, Arduino, and Raspberry Pi. Then we will see now how does it works, how the Revolution Pi works. At its heart, there is a Pi control application which communicates with the programming interfaces like Modbus, Modbus RTO TCP, and it can send the data to your IT applications through APIs or through virtual devices, and you can configure whatever hardware configuration in a inbuilt PIC-tree software. Same data can be pushed to cloud using MQTT or OPC way. You can add the add-on modules like a DIO, AIO gateways using PyBridge and ConBridge modules. We will see later on this. So here we can see the Pi control has the process image of 4 kilobytes, and it can be programmed in various programming software like Excel, Codesys. It can be used for development of SCADA. You can program this RevPy in Python, C++, or any other computer programming languages. And the Revolution Pi comes with the Node-RED, which is inbuilt. No need to install it externally. Also, it has a RevPy mod IO library to program this controller in Python as well. And there are many other interfaces also there. With RevPy 7 virtual device, you can communicate with the Siemens PLCs, Siemens Step 7 PLCs, and there is a Modbus protocol onboard. Modbus protocol is there. Now we will talk about the specifications of the Revolution Pi. The Revolution Pi has the Raspberry Pi compute module, existing compute module we have used, and it is available in different storage like 4 GB, 8 GB, 16 to up to 32 GB storage you will get. And it has a customized Raspbian operating system with a real-time patch. And it has inbuilt Modbus TCP and Modbus RTU master and slave functionality. Here you can see these are the this is the port for Modbus communication, which is the onboard port, and power supply is from 10.7 to 28.8 volt. The operating temperature is minus 40 degrees Celsius to plus 55 degrees Celsius, which means well suitable for industrial environments. Apart from this, it has a ESD protection, it has a IP20 rating, and all the certifications it has for the EMI surge and burst according to the EN 611312 and IEC 610062 standard. For security point of view, it has a inbuilt crypto chip for security reason. As I said, there is a PyBridge for connecting or expanding this module. With the help of PyBridge, we can expand the modules. This black holder is called as a PyBridge, which can use to connect the different DIO or AIOs or gateways with the base modules. The internal cycle time is between the 2 to 50 millisecond, depending on the configuration, and it can be configured via the PIC-tree tool. On next slide, we will have a look what is the PIC-tree. PIC-tree is a web-based application for hardware configuration we use in a Revolution Pi, and every Revolution Pi is supplied with this PIC-tree, and which enables to define positioning of our hardware and the symbolic names of input and output signal. That means we are using this web-based PIC-tree tool for hardware configuration purpose, and we will define our IO tags in PIC-tree itself, and later we can export these tags so that we can program using any other application. Like if you want to program this application in Codesys, you will configure hardware in PIC-tree and define your IOs, then you will export, and the exported file can be used in the Codesys for project development. Then a Revolution Pi is a flexible solution offering a great variety of ready to use softwares. It has, I will list a few of them. It has an inbuilt team viewer so that you can have remote monitoring access. It has a inbuilt Node-RED and Logic 3. As all of you know, Node-RED is one of the best tool for IIoT applications. It comes with Modbus TCP and Modbus RTU and Kunbus Cloud and RevPi 7. RevPi 7 is a virtual device used to communicate with the Siemens Step 7 controllers. Now we will see then what are the programming languages are available to program this this wonderful product called Revolution Pi. So here you can see we can program this IoT gateway in Python, C, C++, C Sharp, or any other programming language we can program. Just we need to have the compiler of that that language. That's it. And here you can see the ranking of the language if you taken from the Google. So as Python has a 100% spectrum ranking, and we use that with the Revolution Pi. And this is for IT engineers who are working on computer application development. The people who are already working in a automation field, who knows for them we can program this controller or IoT gateway in a Codesys, which supports the EN611 313 programming languages like structure text, function block, or ladder logic. And we can program this using Excel, Logic Lab, Logic 3 as well, and in Node-RED, as all of you know that it is a flow-based programming for creating IoT-based applications. As I said, this Revolution Pi can be used with in Python programming languages. So this module can be used for data analytics, machine learning application, computer vision based application, so that we can have whatever already developed libraries available in Python. We can use that for these applications like NumPy, SciPy, Matplotlib for analytics purpose, and Pandas, and OpenCV for computer vision, and many other existing libraries we can use with this Revolution Pi. And we can use Docker technology as well, as we know Docker many people says that IoT and Docker is a match made in the cloud. So if I talk about the Docker is a virtualization technology. You can say it is the next version of virtual machines. So Docker is a set of platform as a service product that use OS level virtualization to deliver a software in package called containers. You can have different applications in a one container, and that can intercommunicate with each other. The containers are isolated from one another and bundle their own softwares and libraries, packages, and configuration files, and they can communicate with each other through the well-defined channels. So we can use this Docker technology with the ARM processor, which is inbuilt in the Revolution Pi. Then, security point of view, it has a username and password for login, and it has inbuilt Atmel security chip, a crypto chip, we can say. Then we will see what are the modules are available. We have the three type of modules. First is RevPi Connect, then RevPi Core, then RevPi Compact. In RevPi Connect, there are two variants. One is RevPi Connect, and another is a Connect Plus. In RevPi Core, there are three variants. One is RevPi Core, another is Core 3, another is Core 3 Plus. and this ReoPi Compact is a recently launched product. So only difference between them is the type of processor the product has and the number of core that has, and difference in their clock rate and the storage capacity, and other specifications remains the same. With this ReoPi Connect and ReoPi Core, we can use this. These two are the modular type. With this, we can use the digital IOs, digital and analog IOs, and also we can expand it using other gateway modules. Till now, any of you have any questions regarding this?
Yeah, these additional modules, what you are speaking to, these analog IO modules and all. On what bus do they communicate to the main? What is the bus?
There is a pi bridge and con bridge are there, as I explained on the previous slide. So that pi bridge we can make communicate with the base modules.
But what is the speed we get? Like, are they quick?
Yes, are they are quick based on configuration. Suppose there are the other communication gateways, then there will be a bit delay. But if DIO AIO as compared to DIO and AIOs, but DIOs and AIO will be they are quick, as you can say that depends on your processor speed. And we have the controllers which supports 1.2 gigahertz speeds, from 700 megahertz to 1.2 gigahertz speed we have.
No, I'm not talking about CPU speed. I'm talking about the data acquisition. Because this analog IO module, the analog IO module will have its own speed, that is okay. But beyond that, there will be connectivity speed. No? The main CPU to get that data from the analog input module, will there be any delay? Scan time delay?
Sir, connectivity speed will depend on the what is your clock rate.
Correct.
What is the type of processor you have?
Yeah.
So it's very quick. Only if I talk about the speed of ReoPi, then ReoPi Connect Plus and Core 3 Plus are the high-end controllers.
Okay.
Only Core 3 is a basic controller which has a 700 megahertz clock rate and 500 MB of RAM. And rest modules have the 1 GB of RAM and 1.2 gigahertz clock rate.
And
so,
can I connect NFC card reader, something like that? NFC cards, readers and all, that type of devices?
Can you tell me about what is NFC card?
They're like RFID card, that type of card readers.
What is the communication protocol that has?
USB, I think. But like you don't have any already the device explored.
Okay, you can communicate. You can communicate with that. It has onboard USB ports. If you have questions, you can text in a chat box. We will come to you later for one-to-one.
Okay.
So that we can finish whatever we have scheduled in during scheduled time.
Okay.
Whatever the questions you have, you can post it into the comment box. We will get back to you one-to-one. Now here for gateway modules, we have different gateways, right from Profinet, Profibus, Ethernet IP, DeviceNet, EtherCAT, CAN Open, and these gateways are only compatible with the modular controller like ReoPi Core and Connect, not with the Compact. I will give you a snapshot of one of our product called ReoPi Connect. So you will have the idea what is what are things available in the Revolution Pi. as we already said it is a Linux based and already covered that. The apart from that, we have the uh, block for UPS digital input and relay output. Here you can see we have the status LEDs for watchdog and relay and user LEDs for onboard monitoring or diagnostic purpose. It has two Ethernet port, Ethernet 1 and Ethernet 2. So it is easy for us to communicate with the OT technology, OT network and the IT network. It has onboard RS485 port. Here you can see it supports Modbus RTU. A power supply is also there, which works on 24 volt DC, and it has a micro USB ports, two micro USB port, and power and two user LEDs, and mini HDMI cable is also there, so that we can have, if we have developed our screens, we can visualize them using HDMI port to any HDMI supported monitor. The basic block diagram will be like this. We have to connect this Revolution Pi to one of our router. Then our programming PC should be in the same network. Then with the help of the IP address, we can access the Revolution Pi. So I will show you the snapshot of my setup, which I have made here for a live demonstration. On next slide. Here you can see this is my current setup. I have given a 24 volt supply from this SMPS. Then I have connected with Ethernet cable. I have connected Ethernet cable to my from RevoPie to my programming PC, programming laptop. So now we will start our hands-on training. Now I will share my complete desktop with you so that you can see the complete hands-on training. Now I will show you the how I connected to the Revolution Pi, and you will have a chance. I will show you one of the cool trick how you can communicate your laptop to your Revolution Pi with a laptop as a router. If someone of you working on a Revolution Pi, you might need to connect your Raspberry Pi to your router, then only you can able to access. So instead of doing that, I will share a trick. You can use that one as well. Go to your network connections. Here you can say I have shared my Wi-Fi connection to the Ethernet port of my laptop. Here you can, many of you might already know this. Once you go to the properties of your Wi-Fi, here is one option called sharing. Then you can allow other networks to use. Then I have selected here Ethernet adapter, the name of this adapter, so that your Wi-Fi will shared with your laptop Ethernet port, and that will be connected to the Revolution Pi. To access the Revolution Pi, you need to have the IP address, and you can get it from any IP scanner or a network scanner tool. Here I am using advanced IP scanner to get to know what is the IPs assigned to the Revolution Pi from my laptop. You can see here my laptop IP address is in the range of 192.168.137.1. So I kept that range here, same range I have put it here. Here you can see this is the IP address assigned from my laptop to the Revolution Pi. I will copy this IP address. And once you copied the IP address, you have to enter in the web browser. You will get access of the Pictree software, which we talked in our presentation, which is used for the hardware configuration and the IOs. You can define your variable names. I hope everyone is clear with this at this time. When you enter the IP address, you will need to log in. The default username is admin, and the password will be printed on the Revolution Pi. This is the home page for your Revolution Pictree application, in which Pictree is for your configuring your hardware, and Node-RED for your application development, which comes with the which is inbuilt in the RevoPi products. You can configure your clock rate as well, so that if you want higher speed, right from 300 hertz to 1200 gigahertz. And there are other services is also available. When you want to use the Node-RED service, before that you have to enable that service from here. When you want to use the inbuilt Modbus functionality, then you have to enable this here. If you want to communicate this module with your step 7 Siemens step 7 PLCs, then you have to enable this RevoPi 7 service. And here will be the general status, what is the disk free space is available, what is the CPU voltage, and what is the CPU temperature. All the status will be here. Now I will go to the apps. First we will configure the hardware. We will see what we are using in this application. As we already mentioned in the promotion, that we are going to use work practically with the Node-RED, and we are sending the Modbus data into the database, so that we can use that data for report generation or analytics purpose. So this is a Pictree application. You can select your base devices from this left pane, whether it is a RevoPi core, core or 3 or 3 plus, Connect or Connect plus, or a compact or flat. Now we are using the RevoPi Connect module. So you have to just drag and drop this from your left pane to your working area here. I have already drag and drop that, so no need to drag and drop again. And we are communicating with the Modbus slave devices. So we will have to take a Modbus TCP master from a virtual devices in order to communicate with the Modbus Modbus TCP slave devices. Once you have configured these devices, you have to save this as a start configuration from a file menu. Once the project is saved, you have to reset the driver so that your changes will take effect. And I talked about the how you can declare variables from here. You can see here are some variables available which will show the RevPy status, IO cycle. These variable you can access in your programming as well. You can get to know what is the temperature of your core, means what is the temperature of your Revolution Pi, your controller. You will get to know from this variable, and you can access this controller outside in your programming environment. In Modbus TCP, you can map your register data with these variables. You can rename these variables as per your convenient. Once this is done, now we will see how we can get that Modbus data in a Node-RED. Again, enter the IP address of your Revolution Pi. You will see here Node-RED application. You have to just click on a start button. You will get a Node-RED application opened. Some of you might be familiar with this Node-RED environment, but those who are new to this, I will tell you how it works, and it's it's a Hello World program as well. So this is a tool in which we based on a flow-based programming. We have the various nodes available here. We have to just configure according to our requirement. Suppose we are working on MQTT, then MQTT nodes are available here. We have to just configure that what is your broker address and what are your topics, all that. If you want to store your data in CSV, you can do that as well. You can store your data in your databases as well. Just you have to add additional libraries of Node-RED. Suppose you want to get read data from Modbus slave devices, you have to add this Modbus library. I will tell you how you can add this. If you want to visualize
Pradeep, it is not audible and also the screen is stuck. Can you please cross check?
this data like suppose this is my input node which will inject a timestamp, current timestamp. This will be this will be an input for many other your nodes. Suppose we have to see what data it is giving, we can debug that data with this debug node. Now you have to just connect it and click on deploy. It will be ready to use. Now if this is a debug, if I click here, you will get a message payload here. This is nothing but a timestamp, but it is not a human readable format. It means we can read, but it's not a proper format. It is just addition of the seconds of all till this hour. So in order to format this string in a proper format, we have to program this. So suppose there is a one node called function in which you can write a program. I will drag and drop this between these two nodes, and if I double click here, it will open a pop-up window. Here you can write your code in a Node.js format. Now I will show you how you can format this string in a proper human, proper date and time format. So what we are getting here is we will define our variable called date so that we can convert that string, these strings 1610 into a proper date and time format. and we will use one date function. The people who are familiar with the Node.js, they know about this syntax, how we can program in the Node.js, and we are getting this message payload. Here you can see that this data is within the message.payload. So we have to get that data first, message.payload. So that string is getting into the variable called date. Now we will convert that message payload into the string format. Message.payload is equal to date.toString. These are just the syntax, programming syntax I am using. If you are familiar with the JavaScripting or any other programming language, you will get it easily. So once done, this is one of the you can give name as well. I will give date and time. And if I click on deploy, now it is successfully deployed. And if I go to a debug window and if I click here, you will see here the standard time, that is a current timestamp with a date and time. So you can do with this programming, you can get your Modbus data in the Node-RED. You can insert that into databases and you can visualize the same data in the dashboard as well. Suppose I have if I have to make a visualization of this, you can get the dash. You can go to dashboard panel and take a text input. And if I click this and if I join this and click on deploy, here you can see you have to just select the group here and click on done and click on deploy. And if you click here on the dashboard symbol, here you will get a time and date, but we haven't getting any time and date here. If we click here, the time and date will be updated here. This input will get from anything, maybe from your devices or from your applications, software applications. You can get that. This was just a hello world program type of application. Now we will see how we can read the Modbus data in Node-RED, and same how can we visualize the same data. We will look for that. I will create another flow. For time being, we will use already developed program, and I will explain how it is programmed. We will import a program which I already developed. Just I am importing that file. Here you can see the flows I have developed. This is a Modbus read node taken from this Modbus pane. Here you can see this node I have used here. Just you have to configure this with your according to what data you want to read. Suppose I have to read the holding registers, starting address from 0 and three registers I have to read, and the server details you have to provide here. Then server here will be your slave IP address of your slave devices. As I am using the mod sim here, the slave IP address will be the IP address of my laptop. So I will my IP address is 192.168.137.1. So I will update this and click on done. And here we did the programming, which is in Node.js. As we are reading three register addresses, we have created three variables, and the data is coming in the format of message.payload. That data we stored in these three messages, and we returned this three database and have joined these three outputs to next for visualization purpose. You can see here Gaussian chart. Once I click deploy here, we have to select the group here. I will select this already developed group, which is time and date. Group is nothing but how you want to display your data. If I click on deploy and open my Node-RED dashboard, here you can see the whatever the database data I have to display. I have displayed in the two format. One is a Gauge format, another is a text format. Now what we will do here, you can see the Modbus read. This Modbus master is waiting for slave's response. Now we will use a ModSim application. From ModSim we will send data to Node-RED, and same will be replicated in our visualization. As we have already reading the data from three devices from holding registers. Just have a closer look here, so you can change the notice here. You can notice our change. So this Modbus read is reconnecting up to 200 millisecond is getting. Once this, and this is not connected. Once I connect this, you will get the connection is successful. Just allow access here, so it can able to communicate with. Here you can see now this is a active since the ModSim is connected. Now we will read this three registers from register from address 1, 3 quantity. Now I will update here values. First will be my 55. The same will be replicated in a dashboard here. This was a Modbus register 1. Now I will update Modbus register 2 here, which will be like 44. Here you can see the Modbus register 244 is updated. Now we have the third register. Here Modbus register third register. I will update this with the 92. Here you can see. we have displayed this data in two formats. One is in Gauge format. Here you can see, and you can label the you can have colors as well based on your readings. Suppose your data is below 50, you can have in green. If it's above 50, you can have yellow color, and if it's above 80 or 90, you can have a red color. So it will be easy for you. And same data can be displayed in your text format as well for register number 2 and 3, which is 44 and 92. Here you can see the Modbus register 1 is 55, register address 2 is 44, and register address 3 is 92. So you can develop your visualization, your web-based HMIs in Node-RED, and you can access this through internet as well with the VPN, and that is supported by Revolution Pi. We can insert the same data in database as well. Suppose if I connect this to this function, and what I am doing here, whatever the data coming from the register addresses, I have developed one database in which I am inserting these values in the under the name of temperature, pressure, humidity, and it will inserted in database with the respective timestamp. And I am using the MySQL database here. So I have configured here my database called sensor. And I have provided all the necessary details in order to connect with the database. Now if I click on deploy, you can see the whatever data is coming from this Modbus is coming inserting into MySQL database. If you want to notice here, you can notice in this debug window as well. I will delete this. You can see the data which we have sent 55, 44 and 92 here, 55, 44, 92. And same data you can see in your database table as well. For that, I will open my Putty application so that we can see that data available in database. So I am doing SSHing into the RevPy Connect. You can, for SSHing, you need any SSH client. As many of you know, to access a Linux terminal, we can use Putty or any other application called Bitwise SSH client also you can use. You have to just enter the IP address of your Revolution Pi. Here is 137.236, 192.168.137.236. Click on accept and save, and it will ask for your password. Just enter there and click on OK. Now we will see the data available in our database. You can use this command to enter into your database. I have already installed MySQL database on Revolution Pi. You can see what are the databases available in this. Here you can see these are the database available. Our interest is in the sensor database, which we have developed for to store our data. So we will fire a command. SQL command is basically SQL command. Use sensor. Now database has changed. You can now see the tables available in the database. Tables in MySQL. The people who are familiar with the MySQL or MS SQL, they are familiar with this SQL query language structure. So now I am looking for the tables. Show tables. So I have created one table called sensor Modbus TCP data to store the data coming from slave devices to Modbus uh, this table. There is one command you can use to fetch that data. Select star means whatever the data present in the table we are displaying here. Select star from here will come the table name sensor Modbus TCP data and click enter. Here you will see here all the data entries are available which we have entered through ModSim application, that is 554492. Same is available in our dashboard as well, and the same thing is available in database as well. You can access this data later on as well for your analytics purpose or report generation purpose as well. Suppose if you want to access this data, I will show one last example how you can get that data into Excel with the ready-made tool called MySQL Workbench. We have another webinar on same day in a next week, that is on 21. We will see in that webinar how we can generate a report in Excel from this database and how we can communicate with the industrial IoT cloud and how we can program this Revolution Pi in Python. These three things we will see in a next webinar, which is scheduled on 21st in next week. So now if any of you have questions, please you can ask the questions.
Hi Pradeep, Prashant again. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so much for your valuable webinar to our participants, particularly our client customers, and also I thank you, Julian, for your kind words. Julian is a distribution channel manager at Kunbus. Thank you so much for your kind words. And I allow our onboard participants to have their queries or questions. You can unmute and you can send the question, ask the questions, or else you can send it through chat box. Thank you. Pradeep, we got two questions. First one is, what is the security level we have in Connect and Connect Plus? What is the security we have?
Okay, we have inbuilt crypto chip for security purpose. As I have mentioned during the presentation, it has inbuilt a security crypto chip, which is majorly now used in the embedded devices.
Okay, I hope it's reached to our participant. And another question is, how to enable OPC UA client from Anil?
For OPC UA, we have to install. There is a library available in Python. You can use that.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And yes, Kunbus and is a organization where they have provided a platform to share all their experience and their application along with their competitor organization, and also with Kunbus team. It is very fast, and Kunbus team will reach you all your queries in that platform. That means that such a forum they have provided to our end users. So thank you so much for that. Any other questions in onboard participants? And one more question, how to use RevPy as PLC?
Okay, good question. You can use Revolution Pi as a PLC, where you have the add-on modules like digital. You have DIO modules and AIO modules. So you can use that one, and you can program that in a Python or in Codesys, the way you normal PLC do program.
I think Mohit, you got the answer. How you can use as a PLC. That means you will be having a modular devices, digital and analog input modules. So where you can connect to that in a base device, and you can write a program by using Python or Node.js. Thank you, Mohit, for your question. Explain of use of RevPy in industrial environment manufacturing line. I believe you can utilize as a PLC instead of investing a huge PLC. If you have a limited inputs, digital or analog, you can use as a PLC, and also you can use as a protocol converter. If your end device is having OT protocols, you can convert those protocols to IT platform. So there you can utilize. How many machines can be connected to RevPy Connect? Pradeep.
Machines in the sense it is based on your IO data, and you can add the maximum 5 IO modules, DIO module, DIO, and there is a some rules regarding that, where how we can get maximum how many IOs we can have. Based on that we select. Suppose how many IOs your one machine has. Based on that we can select the modules, and we can get that count. So if you have any specific queries, please send us. We will revert back.
Okay, there is very interesting question from Rajveer Singh. If I am using Raspberry Pi instead of Revolution Pi, what I am missing? Rajveer Singh, it's a good question. This is where the customers or our important end users are getting confused between Raspberry Pi and Revolution Pi. Revolution Pi is an intelligent device and a unique platform where they have converted Raspberry Pi base module to industrial grade device. So if you are using a Raspberry Pi in an industrial environment, then that won't allow. But if you are going with the Revolution Pi, you will get all kind of Revolution Pi certifications. That means all kind in the sense we have mentioned all kind of certification in the data sheet. So wherever you have a industrial grade environment, then definitely you have to go for Revolution Pi instead of Raspberry Pi. Revolution Pi is developed based on Raspberry Pi base module only. Thank you, Rajveer Singh. Okay, so from Atul Misri, reference of manufacturing line where RevPy is used. Atul, I'll get back to you on this. I'll share you the references where we have promoted and where we have shared the Revolution Pi in manufacturing line. Thank you. Anil, you asked IOS but not Ethernet connection to machines. Can you please elaborate of your questions?
Yeah. See, basically IOS are used by sensors. If you are putting up sensors, if you connect to machines, you are using different protocols on different ports, and they could be over RS485, Ethernet connectivity, or some other, right? So my question is more related to how many machines are normally connected to a RevPy in an industrial environment. So for example, if you talk about a reference, then in that reference, how many machines were connected to a Pi at maximum?
Nice question. Basically, with the help of Ethernet switch, whatever industrial devices networked according to the computer networking structure, with those all the computer networking devices, it will communicate. Only thing is you have to follow the networking standards.
No, the question is in a real reference, how many machines have you connected to a RevPy?
Till now, how many we have connected? Is that?
Not till now. I'm asking in one of your references, for example, if you use RevPy there, then in one RevPy, how many machines were connected at max?
Suppose, sir, it is a Ethernet based devices are there. As per a networking standard, you can access whatever
Pradeep,
devices
sorry
are
to
using
disturb
that.
you. Okay. I think. Hello.
Yes, Chetan, please go ahead.
Yeah. I think the question is related to the protocols, the how many devices they can connect on single Wi-Fi. So it's depend upon the which kind of protocols they are using. If they are having the RS-232 Modbus 485 or the 422. So if it is a 485, they can connect 32 numbers of machine. If it is a RS-232 based machine, then they can connect only one machine. Or if it is a 422, then they can go up to the 8 number of connectivity.
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
Again, that if it is a TCP, they can.
idea is not
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go into theoretical discussion. I was asking about a real reference,
Mhm.
which you have used a RevPi and you have connected a number of machines. So idea is not to go into theoretical.
Yeah, we have done
numbers.
up to. Yeah, we have done up to 12 number of.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah,
Okay.
based on
The
RS-485
question is how
protocol.
many
We
MD
are
machines
Irfan,
considering the
do you
connect?
have
RS-485 protocol.
The machine is how many machines you connected in one installation? 3 machines, 4 machines, 10 machines under the same roof with
Well,
one
machine.
Raspberry. That is the question, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
machine based on RS-485 protocol.
MD Irfan, do you have any question? You have raised your hand.
Hello.
Yeah, MD Irfan, please
Yes.
go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes.
you.
It is same regarding the number of devices as if I connect an Ethernet switch between RevPi and number of devices, then since we have two Ethernet switches on RevPi, okay, and if I connect an Ethernet switch between suppose there are 8 or 10 devices which has a Ethernet port communication, okay, TCP/IP. So is it possible to connect 8 devices with RevPi? Can RevPi have the capability?
Yes, sir. You can connect up to 8 devices as well. It can connect.
Okay. Up to 8. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. There is a last question. Due to time constraints, we are just ending up, and there will be more webinars on this participant. We'll let you know, and we believe you enjoyed this webinar, and also you can join us in the next 2 webinars. And there is the last question, Pradeep. Is gateway have come from remote places? How to access gateway on dashboard?
Sorry.
Is any alert system available in this gateway?
Yes, you
First
can.
question is gateway have complete access from remote places? How to access gateway dashboard? And the second question from the same participant, Ravi Kiran, is any alert system available in this gateway? SMS notification or email alert, etc.
Remote access and alert notification, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you can access remotely it through OpenVPN, and for alert and notification you can program this in a Python. If you are programming this in Python, then there is a provision that you can send notifications on emails and phones as well. And if you are you communicating with the cloud with the help of cloud services, you can send the notifications as well. In next the session which is scheduled in next week, there we will show you how you can send the notifications from cloud and how you can program controller in a Python. We will demonstrate same in the next webinar, and stay tuned for that. We will share the link for that event just
everyone.
one day prior.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pradeep. I would like to thank you each and everyone who were on board and who made us a very successful webinar. And thank you so much for all the questions and responses from our end as well. So I would like to conclude this webinar here. We'll get connect in the very soon date with the same enthusiasm. Thank you so much. Again, I would like to thank our chairman Uday Jadhav, and I would like to thank Julian for his kind words. And I would like to thank Shripad sir and particularly Pradeep. Thank you so much for your patience for this webinar. Thank you, everyone. Have a good time. Be safe.
Thank you all.